has self-destructed and just grabbed something and said, "Ah!" and then started leaking. It's Monday. We are at the refurbishment project. We have a job we finished 6 years ago. The original drawings for the property and the proposed work, we were changing 10 windows. In the process, I believe the client said towards the end of the job,
change these 3 windows as well.
When building control come round and had a look at the work, building control signed off the 10 windows on the original drawings that we were changing, and they ignored the other 3 because those are the drawings they were provided with. Now the client is selling the house, and he's saying that building control didn't sign off 3 of the windows. More than likely, what's happened is the client said it very late, and we've done it as a favor, and now it's come back to bite us. No good deed goes unpunished. And now the client is pushing us to find a solution. The 2 solutions are either speak to building control. I'd like to get a private building inspector, but I don't know if it's possible, so we may need to use the council. And the second option is a small indemnity insurance policy on those 3 windows. There are 2 options you can have with sign off for windows. You can have sign off from the building inspector, and you can have a FENSA certificate. We have sign off from the building inspector on that project because we bought the windows and fitted them ourselves. Just to say, we are not a FENSA registered company because we don't install windows on a day-to-day. It isn't our core business. We're a new build, refurbishment and conversion company, but we do install many windows ourselves. Each project is different. Sometimes we just buy the window from the supplier and we install, and on other occasions, the supplier installs them. If you have building control sign off, you don't need the FENSA certificate. They're more or less the same thing. But people like the whole FENSA, especially solicitors.
Have you got FENSA?
No, we got building control sign off. Okay. We're gonna start boxing in on the staircase between the first floor and the loft. We're gonna have 2 boards which sit here. When it's finished, it's gonna look exactly like what's going on here. If you stand here, you can see the ceiling height coming from the first floor, which is gonna have to come and be finished here. And we're going to take this all the way up, so this is going to be encased. It's going to be a lot darker once we do it, but with the skylight which is over here, we should be letting some natural light in, and there'll be a glass panel there. Dudek was saying that we insulated this entire area and it looked great. Then we used the thermal imaging camera, and there was like 50 mil here, 50 mil there. So we were able to completely close it up. So Dudek's new hobby is to go around the house as we close it up and see any cold spots. This is like behind the scenes of behind the scenes, just to show you how it works. Hello, Jeff. So you can see how the thermal imagery works. And how does this work in this hallway? This was a massive cold spot. It's 6 degrees, but with the wind, it says it feels like 2 degrees. It looks pretty good. Yeah. Only cold spots we've got are there and there now. Yeah. I suppose I don't want to know how much this thing costs.
No, it was 900 quid.
So we thought that we were 100% and we use this and we found spots here and there. Loads, yeah?
Maybe not loads, but the places where it's not accessible.
Yeah.
And we put insulation everywhere, we say, okay, should be fine, yeah?
Yeah.
And then I check, we have to, like the bathroom over there, yeah? We have like 2 roofs joined together, yeah? Everything would insulate, cold spot, yeah?
That's fantastic. So this house should be an A rating. In the master bedroom, at last we are completely boarded up. You saw us a couple of weeks back doing the detail for this area, trying to get this right and making bespoke pieces from the stud system. Once this is plastered, it will look fantastic, but the work that had to be done here is very difficult because the stud track system doesn't actually do something specifically for a flat ceiling and a pitched ceiling meeting. There's 2 options for the lighting, and we've run the cables for both. We can have the 3 strip lights over here in this area, or we can have the chandelier centrally. Either way, on either side of the bed, we're gonna have a chandelier hanging down that sits on top of the little cabinets, but we had to create renders to show the client the 2 options. For me, the strip lighting looks a little bit industrial, and in the client meeting, what we had a couple of weeks back, we had them in place so the client could see. For me, they look a lot better on the render than they did in real life, but we'll let the client decide. Look at that little gap, letting in the cold. So you look at this and you see all the insulation work we've done. there's rock wool here, there's Celotex. It's not Celotex, Celotex is a manufacturer, but this type of insulation. And right in the corner, there's a little gap. We're gonna use expanding foam in areas like this. If you go around the property and you close off all of these, it's gonna make a massive difference to the thermal efficiency of the property. And the client will never really know the work we did. Tell a lie, they will, because I know that they're actually watching now because they watch Ashville weekly and so do their team. But it will make the house feel a lot more comfortable and they'll save lots of money on their energy bills. What's going on with these steels underneath here for this staircase?
They will be coming tomorrow.
Get the plasterers up here, go to the ground floor, start doing the steel for the staircase. Staircase manufacturer needs a couple more measurements after the steel goes in. He's coming tomorrow morning, yeah?
11 o'clock.
So when this getting plastered up here, we can be down on the ground floor, closing the ground floor up after those steels have gone in, because those steels are stopping us from closing the ground floor. Right, we were just talking about plastering. For speed, we're gonna get a company to come in and plaster the entire area. Now, we've had instances in the past where people turn up and give a great price. They plaster, it makes you dizzy, all the bumps on the wall. And then, as Dudek would say, then we just need to buy sandpaper attachments and sand down all the walls for the next 5 weeks trying to get it straight again. So sometimes it's a false economy to get a plasterer who is cheaper. So we need a quality plastering team to come in and plaster the top 2 floors while we're working downstairs. And the better they are, the less work we'll have to do in the decoration stage. Bartek, when he's mapping out all the lighting, he always does a nice drawing on the wall. There's one in the master bedroom of where all the lighting is hidden. We take a picture of it, so if we ever come back to it, there will be as-built drawings when the job is finished, which we can work from. As-built drawings are basically the final plans with all the M&E and all the other services on them, so we know what's within the walls and we hand it over to the client. But at this stage, before we have as-built drawings, if we take a picture of what we've done in certain areas, then if we need to open up a wall towards the end because the client changes the scope, then we can do it without damaging other bits. And now we have our thermal camera, so we can look at the underfloor heating in places and we can actually see before we drill into the slab and destroy all the work we've done. I think the chandelier might be better above the staircase.
Yeah, but we said about
Two.
2 of them. Yeah?
Yeah, run the cables for 2 chandeliers.
But this one, well, you want him here or there?
I think it needs to be in the middle of the staircase, no? And what about the other chandelier?
Somewhere on this line.
So we can move it backwards and forwards, but not side to side. We've got spotlights around that, and then we've got the light in the cupboard. So we've got 4 lighting circuits. So you're right, spotlights on the render. That's me being over cautious, because in a dressing room like this, if you get dressed and you want to go somewhere, sometimes you want full light to get an idea of the colors properly, and style is a big thing for the client. Definitely we need to have spotlights in here so the whole place can be lit up. That's it for the refurbishment project. I'm now heading back to the yard. But as always, the work continues. Chris is using marine ply to build up the area around the toilet system. Within the frame, we're going to incorporate a recessed storage area, which will be illuminated. This is the expanding foam work in the remaining cold spot areas. We have a small area in the first floor ceiling, which still needs to be insulated. Once this is done, we can board it up. This is where the linear grille will sit for the air conditioning in the master bedroom. We're cutting out a section of wall to prepare. In the area between the first floor and landing, we need to use timber to build up to ensure all the walls will be level. Heading back to the yard. As soon as I get into the yard, it's going to be go, 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 go. So many questions, answers, so many people to talk to, loads going on. So I use the time in the car to make calls and to think. I can see establishments, companies lining up against us, the way they're trying to put together supply locations. Some of them we work with, and what they're saying and what they're doing are 2 completely different things. But between them, they're coming up with their own plan, which is fair. It's business. You don't have to do everything with Ashville. But they're not being straight when they're talking to us. They're not being transparent. Once again, you could argue this is business and none of us are friends. And I have other information which backs up my suspicions. I'm in a position where I have direct contact with them and key people within those businesses. If they're already lining up against us and they're not telling me what they're doing, what would be the point in calling them saying, are you doing this, are you doing that? If they were going to tell me they were going to do it, they were going to tell me at the start. If I tell them I know what they're doing, then they could expedite what they're doing to set it up faster, or they know what I'm thinking and they're in a better position to outmaneuver me. So you almost have to play dumb and just don't say anything and make everybody around you believe that they're smart and they know what they're doing, and our watch is going to be great when we do this. It's going to be the greatest partnership in the world. They're not going to know what hit them. It's almost like you just need to shut your mouth. Let everybody get on with it, and in the meantime, you make your plan. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to make a plan which enables us to maneuver and to keep working and to keep growing the business while not telling them, but I am only reciprocating the treatment that we've received. I can count on one hand the people I can shake their hand and I know that they'll do what they say they will, and they're not going to try and pull a fast one behind my back. It is chess, not drafts. You got to constantly be thinking. And bear in mind, this monkey business and jumping around and outmaneuvering and getting all the other options, none of this generates any revenue whatsoever. None of it. All it does is ensure the business can continue to operate and in some cases survive with a view to move forward. So all that time that you spend doing it, but this is business for you. Nearly back at the yard.
I'd like to thank Paul Fox for giving me an opportunity to start as a tipper driver up here in Preston. I was getting bored being retired, but now that I've got my new job, I'm looking forward to it. And I've got to say thank you very much, Paul, and all the staff up here are very polite, nice, so thank you very much.
So you're saying that you've got a new job being a tipper driver for Paul Fox?
Yeah,
So why are two of you in the lorry?
because Ryan just wants to show me how to drive it, because I'm a bit rusty.
So Ryan went up there and left Ryan O'Donovan haulage to go up to Paul Fox and drive Paul Fox's lorries, did he? Ryan, have you even sat behind the wheel of a lorry that ain't a V8?
Of course I have.
What's the matter with you, Michael? Why are you all trying to wind me up?
He winds me up. I'm 33 years of age. I ain't had a straight conversation with my father yet. Are we out to Friday or what?
Yeah, we're out Friday.
Well, how am I getting? Are you picking me up in the roller?
Why don't you drive one of the Fox tippers down to meet me?
No, I booked a holiday Friday.
And how much has Paul got you on up there?
I'm on 2 and 6.
What's 2 and 6?
It's just about 15 quid a day. What are you up to? What's happening?
Sitting at my desk, messing about. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to St. Lucia.
How long are you on there for?
2 weeks. It's my mum's 70th. I'm throwing a party for her.
Can't tell me you done something for us, Paul.
Right, okay. Because let me guess, I wouldn't give my mum the flu, right?
No,
How was Saturday up with Foxy?
I never went.
You never went?
No.
So why are you winding me up, sending me pictures of you in a Fox shirt? Michael, I can't tell when you're serious and when you're not serious. Like, no straight word comes out your mouth. Paul Fox don't need you up there. You're just going to go up there and just distract everyone and just do nonsense like you do in Ryan's office. Like,
I've got feelings, you know.
since when did you have feelings?
For my new mate Foxy.
No wonder you lot wanted to meet without me. I don't know about what these feelings that you lot have got for each other.
What do you mean? You were invited. You just didn't want to go because you're getting jealous.
You lot have made your own plans without me, so I've been left out. I was only invited because you were invited, so it don't count.
It does. You were his mate before me.
No, I know, but you nicked him off me now.
No, he loves you more than me.
Well, make sure you don't let me down on Friday.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good man.
I'm going to get there about 12 o'clock, so I can be well on it by the time you get there.
If you start drinking at 12 o'clock, Michael, you won't survive till late lunch. Drinking ain't really your strong point, Michael. Hey! You're like a fighter who trains really well and goes in the ring and gets KO'd in the first round. Like,
I'll do the jokes and the winding up, yeah?
yeah, all right.
Go on, I'll speak to you later.
All right, later. So Michael O'Donovan reckons he's got a new job driving a tipper for Paul Fox. I introduced the two of them. Now they got their own relationship and they're leaving me out. After I left the refurbishment project, I got a call from David about the bathrooms. Now, if you remember in all the other rooms, we've done a recess where you can hide the blinds or curtains just in front of the window. And we've decided that that will not be in any of the bathrooms because like the Central London project we showed you a couple of weeks ago, when you have a pocket which is high in a room, system, the vapor from the shower or any hot water, it will race to that area and it will sit there and it can cause condensation. So within the bathrooms, we're going to have a flat ceiling, and the blind or curtain, whatever they choose to have in there, is going to have to be mounted onto the ceiling. It's Tuesday and we're in the yard. This lorry's got to go in for a repair, but before it does, Ollie's got to do some work and remove some of the concrete. The bearing at the back here is gone, and you can tell by the amount of movement in it when you pull it up and down. So once Ollie has cleared as much concrete as he can, we're going to drop it round to Southern Vulcanising so they can change the bearing here. At the refurbishment project, above the bespoke staircase, there are 2 windows that look like normal Velux windows, but they are part of the fire system. So in the event of a fire, they will open in order to let the smoke remove itself from the property so people can get out. However, we need to have 2 of these emergency push buttons if the system isn't activated, so somebody can actually press it and get them to open. Now, they don't look very pretty, but it doesn't matter. This is about fire safety and saving people's lives. On the ground floor, I think we'll stick it just on the side where you come into the front door so everybody on the ground floor can clearly see where it is. And on the first floor landing, we'll have one there also. So if you're in one of the bedrooms or you're in the loft, all you need to do is get to that area and go boom, and the windows will open. Our Google AdWords looks like it's working a bit. We've had another order come through for the decorative grey slate. Now the grey is the cheaper one, because it's less rare, and I'm looking at a stack of plum and blue slate. However, today is the 27th of February, and as we get into March and April, that is the busy season for decorative aggregates. So we're hoping that that is going to push on and we'll start to make some significant sales, which will put a dent in the stockpile. The 6-ton dumper, which we cross-hired from B&W Plant Hire, we are taking it back down to them. We don't have one of these in our fleet, so it was very handy and we kept the client happy. While we're down at B&W, there are 2 1-ton machines. The one I told you a few weeks back, which had damage. B&W have told us how much it's going to be to repair them, but they're too busy to repair our machines. They need to repair their own ones. So while Ben is down there, he's putting both the 1-tonners on, and we're bringing them back up to the yard, and we're going to carry out the repairs ourselves. I'm on the road again. A couple of weeks back, I told you about the Olympic containers and the plans for the layout. So last night I was talking with Sam, the bathroom was changing and then the kitchen was changing. And then we swapped round the kitchen and the bathroom because we didn't think it was right that while I'm sitting at my desk, I can see someone coming in and out the toilet. And also when you're at the boardroom table, if the door's open, you can also see the toilet. So we swapped those around and Sam thought we were nearly there. And then I threw a curveball at him and I said, actually swap round my office and the boardroom, and behind my desk is glass. There's no point in having that because if the boardroom and my office are together, you're just going to be looking at the wall of the boardroom. So we're going to infill that area so it's a solid wall, and the glass will go on the other side behind the seating area. I will sit on my desk and I can look out, and on the left hand side and right in front there'll be a clear sight of the yard and everything that's going on. But at that point Sam said, I'll tackle it tomorrow, I'm going to sleep. He was a little bit frustrated with me, yeah. I'm in central London for a meeting and the train is pulling in full of sand. Let's get it offloaded. You know when you're just dealing with problem after problem and you're trying to fix things and none of the problem resolution generates any revenue whatsoever? We have a job which we finished 7 years ago. We gave a guarantee on the roof. So they've sent us pictures of outside on the roof and sent us a picture of inside and said,
Our ceiling's cracked, and here you can see where the water's coming in. You're going to have to come and fix it and then paint the ceiling in my flat.
if it's because of our workmanship, then I'm happy to do it and we will honour our obligations. But when I look at a picture and I can see scratches and the membrane clearly punctured, I have to start asking questions. So I've asked them for a log. Who's been on that roof and any maintenance work which has been undertaken in that area? To which they came back and said,
Your guarantee doesn't say that we need to clean the gutters or maintain, so it's irrelevant.
and sent another picture of their ceiling. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever position you're in, it doesn't quite work like that. Firstly, in period properties which have been converted into multiple dwellings, especially with single plasterboard ceilings, there is a lot of cracking because of movement. That doesn't guarantee because there was a crack in your ceiling that there's water coming in, while our guarantee doesn't say that you need to maintain the gutters to ensure that the water doesn't overflow. It's good practice. And I would like an attendance schedule to see who was on the roof, because the roof did not scratch itself and puncture itself. No flat roof in the history of flat roofs has self-destructed and just grabbed something and said, "Ah!" and then started leaking. We're trying to communicate and explain in the best way we can to the client, who isn't the person who we dealt with at the time. This is someone else who has now moved in, and they just keep sending emails
It's like, no, you should fix it.
well, unfortunately, in the most respectful way, we're not going to, because it's not right. And I have a number of other issues I'm working on. Some of them I don't want to mention, and none of it generates any revenue. Every time I sort out 4 or 5 of them, I have another 3 or 4. And then I just sit here till these godless hours just trying to sort them out. And I go to bed half dead, and then I wake up in the morning and I was like, right, we go again. And I'm not complaining because it's 2024. I'm just sharing the experience. You might think owning a business and all these people working for you, you feel like on top of the mountain. Majority of the time you feel at the bottom of the ocean, because it feels like you're getting tread on by everyone and you're always last, because ultimately, no matter what anyone does, they go home and get paid and you are left holding the bag. Like I was when my car got smashed. Again, click here to watch that video. In the yard now, the lorries are beginning to get back. Benji's walking around doing checks, making sure that all is well for the morning. Some of the lorries are probably going to get pulled into the tyre bay for repairs. Some will just be inflation, and he'll be checking wheel nuts as well. Sam surfaced again, so he must not have been too upset with me, and he sent over the plans. Now, our Olympic containers, click here to watch the video where we got these Olympic containers, which I've been threatening to refurbish for a while. You can see my office, the seating area, showers, kitchen. We can see a boardroom. There is no link. You'd have to go out and walk round to get to the other one. Then this is the video room. So we have a station for 6 editors. They have their own kitchen, their own lockable storage unit, which I'm going to make like Fort Knox. And if you look everywhere, we have cloakrooms. So we're going to get rid of everyone hanging their jackets on the back of the door and on the back of their chair. More often than not, the video team, they get changed in the day and put orange on to go out and film trains. With these cupboards and storage, we're going to look to keep the offices nice and clean. The creative space, going to get rid of this layout completely, because I want to do a podcast area here and a sound booth. But I was just discussing with Frighty, and what Frighty said was bin off the sound booth, because we don't really do that much voiceover. And this entire wall next to the door, that will be an infinity wall, like the Infinity Gauntlet. And the podcast area will be at the back, and we're going to hang lights from the ceilings because they're 4 meters high. And then we'll be able to shine these lights on either a podcast area, or we'll be able to shine them on the infinity wall. These are not the final layouts, but it's getting there. That is it for a long... Well, that is not it, actually. I'm going to be here for a good few hours, but that is it for filming for Ashville Weekly on Wednesday. Meh. It is Thursday. I'm in the yard. It's raining and it's ugly, but we are out here working, irrespective. I've been telling you for a while about a couple of issues we've been having. One of these issues has been resolved. However, the company who we resolved it with, they basically put a gagging order on me, so I can't actually tell you what the settlement is and how it was resolved. Now, within the agreement, which supersedes the previous one. No. Stop all that. This is Daniel from the future. 2 weeks ahead. Fortunately, I live life like a movie and I can go back in time like Superman and like the Flash and change history. Did you not hear what the man just said? The man just said there's a gagging order and I can't say anything. So he goes on and keeps talking and talking and talking. So here I am to shut him up and save him. Stop talking, Daniel. Ain't hindsight a wonderful thing? And how I'm overcoming it, and hopefully somebody can learn from my mistakes. Told you a little while back that we were featured in Modern Railways. This is another magazine article which has been framed. I'm very proud of this one because I am into trains, and this one is going to go on the wall probably in my new office in the Olympic container because we've kind of run out of space in my existing one. And speaking of trains, let's get this one offloaded. Ben is very busy again. If you remember Manny's job we've been at for the past couple of weeks, bringing in type 1 and taking out muck, well, Ben has gone down there to collect those machines and bring them back to the yard.
Everybody good?
You get the dumper or you get both?
Should get both.
Friday. I'm on around again. I'm actually heading back to the yard. I was in the southwest of the country this morning for a meeting that took me 3 hours to get to, a 45-minute meeting, and our 2.5 hours to get back to the yard. I've had a call from Ricketts, who you've seen in the past. We went up and visited them. They've got an emergency job with material that's got to be in by 10 o'clock tonight, but we've got to go up their way, and we may be collecting the material from my mate Cash, Crown Aggregates, again, a company you've seen in the past. So we may be trying to put some lorries on this work, go and grab this material and deliver it down our way. Terry and Tony are just calling around all the drivers now to see who may have the hours to do this, because at the moment, the time is 11:47 a.m. No doubt the drivers will have to go into their second taco break and take another break and then have another 2 hours after that. We're seeing how many people are capable of doing it, and then we got to see if anyone is willing to do it, because it's Friday afternoon and a lot of people want to just park up the lorry and go home and have an easy weekend, but some people want to earn a little bit more, so the choice will be there for them, and we will let Ricketts know how many of them we can do. The pool house at the Refurbishment Project, been talking about it for a few weeks, and now we have a model of what it will look like, and with the additional roof lights, what I showed you previously, this is what it will look like when you're in the master bedroom and you're looking down. So it looks pretty cool, I think. This combined with the internal render, we hope we can get a decision from the client, and then we're going to have to go to planning, because the building is significantly different than it was before. However, the roof is no higher, so we don't think it will be a problem. We changed the footprint and we made the building wider, which you would think with a pitched roof as it has now, the roof would be higher. But what we've done is we've gone for a flat roof, which resembles the existing roof on the house to a certain extent. And then we have a flat area in the middle after the pitch with the roof light. So hopefully the client accepts, and hopefully the council will be pleased with our plans and give us the permissions that we need. Been a busy week for Ben. He collected, now I've been corrected by Liam on this. Now I called this a cab dumper. It's not a cab dumper, it is a mini dump truck. Ben's gone to collect it and he's going to bring it back to the yard. Terry and I went for a quick drive to look at a job, and a call came through for plant hire. Nice. And what does Terry do on the new customer? He puts the phone down on him.
I did.
That's from a machine. Good luck, mate. Thanks. Thanks. Enjoy your weekend.
It went from 1 machine to 2, because luckily he called back. Hopefully we can get 2 machines out to them, 13, 14 tonners. He said he'd call us back before 5:30. And the time now is 4:52. So let's hope we got an update in a bit, Terry.
Hope so. We'll call him back if not. We've got his number now.
Maybe he'll put the phone down on us.
Maybe he'll put
yeah.
the phone down on me, yeah. Pay me back. Hello, mate. Yeah, I liked your prices.
The job I told you earlier about where we wanted to help Ricketts, none of our lads had enough driving time to do it. So we couldn't help at all. We've missed out on the work. Ricketts were able to do it because they run lorries in 2 shifts. So they have daytime drivers and they have nighttime drivers. The daytime shift, they were able to load the lorries, they parked up, and when the lads came in to do the night shift, they're going to go and deliver the material. All has got to be delivered by 10 p.m. and the time now is 5:53. Unfortunate, but driving hours are driving hours. And the call that Terry got earlier when he put the phone down on the gentleman, they've called back and said they'll let us know Monday morning if they want the 2 14-ton machines, which basically means no, because if you were desperate for the machines, you would ask to make sure they were there first thing on Monday morning, because if you call on Monday, you don't have an account, you're going to have to pay for it, and then we're going to have to try and shift things around to get the machines into you, which means you're not going to do any work on Monday. It has been an extremely long week that is not over. It's Friday, the 1st of March. At 5:53 p.m. and the rain is just brutal, man. It just doesn't let up. Saturday, we're in the yard. I saw one of the new Volvos refueling, so I decided to ask a question because this driver used to drive one of the Scanias, and he reckons these new Volvos burn much less diesel than our Scanias. Yeah, every saving helps our pocket, helps the environment, burning less fuel and getting around doing the same work. Nice. The boys are going around doing maintenance, checking tyres, checking wheel nuts, loading lorries. I'm doing that Saturday walk around the yard when I have a look at everything and hope that I don't see something what's going to upset me and ruin my entire weekend. You know, now if you see some damage and you've got to try and fix it on the lorry before the lorry goes out, it can be very challenging. How are we doing? Ah, he's got the grease gun. He must be greasing. The refurbishment project, trying to get so much approved. That's a better view, isn't it? I told you about our plan for the shed, and the drawings have now come through. These went for a few stages because initially Sam sent the drawings and the joists within the roof, the insulation was on top of it, but then it made it too high because it's close to the next door neighbor's side, so we have to try and be around 2 meters, not 2.4. We have now decided to put the insulation between the joists, which brought down the overall height of the roof. And it means now that we can send it to the client early next week and hopefully get approval. Look at them Volvos all parked up nicely next to each other. Another challenging week draws to an end, and that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 178. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see a video where we explain how we change gigantic tires on plant and machinery, and click down here for last week's episode, which was number 177.